Colin.
And I am a shit celebrity.
Yep, this is true. There is no argument
Well,
here.
actually called that yesterday though. Hi Robbie.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for that compliment.
Thanks for introducing yourself. Appreciate it as always.
Did you take it as a compliment?
Aye. I laughed. That was funny.
Aye. It is the sort of thing that you should laugh at.
I didn't get recognised for anything else, so I might as well get recognised for this.
Excellent. Good day yesterday?
Aye. It was. It was a good day. It was a good game. Enjoyed the game. And then I went out for a few pints after it. So it was good.
Decent. Sounds like a good day. John, how about you? Enjoy the game?
I had a really pleasant day yesterday. Didn't have the pints that Colin had, but 4 goals, 3 points, clean sheet. I spent the game in the company of Colin and a gentleman called Mark Skinner. So aye, I had a really good laugh in the process.
Excellent. And John, I noticed you'd added one of the talking points to Twitter, so we'll come on to that in a wee bit. So stay tuned for that. Like we'll cover over the course of the next hour or so. We will cover as many talking points as we can get to. We'll have a look at the team selection, the performance, the key things that stood out for us, and then anything else that comes up on the YouTube chat as we go. So Chris Black said, "Evening lads, evening Chris. I hope your ankle is better after your house move injury at the weekend."
I actually hope that his ankle might be a wee bit sore because he was giving me stick for leaving early, and I was there until the 90th minute, and I've got photographic evidence.
All right. Well, I didn't have grudges, Chris, so I hope your ankle is better. Right.
I'm better as fuck.
J-Star 1964 said, Klidje was a joy to watch. He must start from now on. Dan said, that's the result we needed. Delighted for wee Klidje. And Chris said, brilliant yesterday. Excellent performance and topped off with a few pints. So Klidje will come up with a conversation as well. I think he was probably a standout for me. But if we go to the lineups first, John, your talking point was how close we were or otherwise with our score predictions in the lineup. So what did you want to say about that?
Do you know it was my talking point when I submitted it was tongue in cheek, but we were pretty close. I think it was Mark had asked me, "Did you guys not predict 4-0?" And I said, "No, it was Matty that had predicted 3 goals and a clean sheet."
Mm-hmm.
But obviously we did the preview show on the Friday, and I'd selected a team for you two to mull over. And I think the only 2 that I got wrong was Klidje starting over Boyle. I think was it Kieran Gallagher had pulled me up a wee bit about that, saying that Boyle was Teflon.
Yep.
And the other player that I got wrong, Colin, remind me. Levitt, and Barlaser was in instead of Levitt. So I very, very close. And I wonder if we're maybe too harsh on ourselves at times. Are we got a wee bit more insight into the football than we give ourselves credit
for? You got 2-11 wrong. Like that's no out of a team that almost picks itself most weeks. So I was it's either right or it's wrong. I give you no credit for it, John.
All right. Do you know what I was saying to
I got it wrong as well. Like I'm not claiming it. Like I was right with it, but I was like, you either get it right or you didn't. Like maybe one out, you maybe go, fair enough. But 2,
I think you were one out, John, because I think you were changing your mind on Boyle during the game, during the programme on Friday, because I had said he's been away with Australia, and you were
it was
like,
about their national duty. You're right.
Yeah.
But I was saying to Harry off down the slope earlier that his satisfaction was a harsh mistress, and I think you're the same, Matty. Very difficult to please.
Fair enough. Colin, what did you think of the lineup that actually started?
I was quite pleased with it. I thought that was the right way to go. I wasn't sure if Barlaser would play either. Like John picked Levitt, and I didn't think he'd played that great and or really noticeable in the previous games. And I agreed with comments that were made on Liam during the week, actually, on the phone-in, when he was saying that a lone player needs to come in and make an impact and be, not just, we're not there to nurture them and develop them. They need to come in and be better than what we've got. And I didn't think we'd seen that for Barlaser, but I thought it was good yesterday, actually. So I was quite pleased with it. And it probably is an easy-ish team to pick, but what I was more pleased with was that it was like last season's sort of formation, though. So we've been picking those players this season, and they've not been as effective. We're having like maybe Klidje dropping back with McGrath as the split tens and all that, whereas it was more a clear sort of 4 in the middle with McGrath sitting in front of them, rather than that 2 that were getting overrun and it was Moria, well, that 2+1 in there in the middle. You know, like it was it was just Livingston though. I say just Livingston that hard team to play against. Did you see Sports Scene talking about it? I watched
Aye.
Sports Scene earlier on, and McFadden was giving it the not hard place to go, obviously, but they're a hard team to beat. And Stevie Thompson was going, are they? Are they though? And I was like, they must have been watching us. That's the chat we've had. Like, were they? And then he started firing out. They've lost that hard team to beat Livingston. They've lost 5 of the last 7.
Fair enough. It's good. It's good to get. That's like that. What's the boy's name? Is it Carl Prince or whatever? The HMRC guy on Twitter. That's the equivalent of that. Just like that's not right. It's like saying you got your team selection right when you were 2 out. It's wrong, eh?
Do you know what I was not asked? Matty, how was your day yesterday? What did you think about the starting lineup?
I thought it was really good. I was glad to see Klidje starting. Like, and I can't it's easy to say in hindsight, but the chat before the game was it was good to see him start. I don't think there was too many surprises, and I thought maybe having both Cadden and Nadden starting was a wee bit of a surprise. Good to see Mulligan back in the middle. I thought he was really good yesterday as well, actually driving us forward. But I didn't think there was any huge surprises in it. I thought it was an attacking team, which I was happy about. Like, I think you get that when you've got Nadden and Cadden there. We almost were prepared not to defend too much on the flanks. But we're playing them. But that and the day was good. We were down early. Me and picked up my old man, and we were down early. We popped up to see my son. He's got a flat just at the wee Bridge of Doom. So we popped in there before the game, and
we'll have to make sure that we pop in there.
Just to be a good day all round. And I really enjoyed the game. Like, I thought maybe the atmosphere was a wee bit flat a few times. It was almost like it was too easy for us. Like, there wasn't it wasn't a competitive game. I didn't think. I thought Livi started quite brightly, but once we got a foothold in the game, there's only one team in it, really. So that was me, John. Robbie Dinan said Salinger is pronounced with a hard G, as in burger, confirmed by an Austrian today, unless they were taking the piss. So we might have to adapt how we do that. But he kept his place in goal.
How have we been pronouncing his name?
Salinger with a soft G.
Would you?
Oh, so is it Salinger?
Salinger, apparently.
But then we're also saying, is it Barlaser? like, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck it. Somebody needs to tell us what they're called. Like,
announcer gave it Barlaser yesterday, but it's Barlaser. But
and by the way, that was for the horse's mouth. That was for Daniel. It's Daniel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aye, because he announced that after my boss told me it was Barlaser.
We missed a trick yesterday because a new announcer in, and we knew in advance that we could have got a shout out for a Mike Hunt or my boss Richie or something like that if we'd thought about it and just to be switched on. That's the sort of opportunity I would have missed 10 years ago. That's the perils of getting old.
That's just a bit nasty, is it not? Like, try trip up the boy when he's standing in.
Do you know what? It's not nasty. It just would have been funny, wouldn't it? Like,
childish, exuberant, no malice.
Aye, that's it. Bart Simpson never did it out of malice, did he? He just went for a bit of mischief. What did you think of Salinger? That was the point I was going on to make. But once I'd got through Robbie's point about the pronunciation, Salinger appears to have got the number 1 jersey now. One of the things that we talked about through the game is his distribution. I noticed that it was picked up on Hibsnet as well. Colin, you like a goalkeeper to have good distribution?
I like a goalie to make saves.
Right.
And then the distribution comes extra, doesn't it? Because I think what we do is when we've got a goalie that's just okay, we focus on the distribution, because most goalies are in goals for a reason, and it's because they're not very good at football. But Salinger appears to be able to knock a ball. And not just that, not just the ones that he's firing out to Cadden and that, or either Cadden, either side, that are like almost in, I think there was one he maybe overhit yesterday, but like out of the amount he's playing, that's a decent percentage. But there's also the one where he collects the ball and he just launches it up to, he's watching Klidje's run and he times, he weights it almost perfect for that. So he's like awareness to getting the play moving as well. But he's also, he made a couple of saves as well, didn't he? You know, there was one for a free kick, and there was another one down our end, John, that he sort of tipped away. I think it was maybe a cross he tipped away. Yeah, but he gets them out of danger. You know, it's like he's not parrying it down the middle, or they're going away out for corners or out to the side. So no, I've been quite impressed with him since he came in. It just seems calmer, like the whole place. Nobody's shouting at him. Nobody's, you know, when like folk get nervous about a keeper, and they moan about the kicking. But the other thing they moan about is they want goalies, that's the goalies. And sometimes it's 20 yards out and you're like, can he come and catch it? It's outside the box. Again, but folk are shouting for the keeper to come for everything. He doesn't come for much, but nobody's panicking. Because Hanley's like in front of him, sort of directing the traffic as well. They two coming in seem to have put a right calming influence on the fans as much as I'm sure it is on the team.
Aye, and John, I don't know if you picked it up, but they two definitely seem to talk to each other a lot. Like the communication between goalie and centre half was like I kind of clocked it partway through the game. I was like, they're at each other a lot through the game about just whose ball it is, where they should be, etc. What's around them. Don't know if you picked up on that.
No, I didn't. No, I just. I know. I don't know.
Watch out for that the next time.
I'm gonna have to now. I think I've said this before. Actually, I was talking to Colin about it yesterday at the game. Like I've said previously that there are things that, especially down the like diagonally opposite me on the pitch, I've said, oh, like I can't see it. No, that I'm unable to see it because of my eyes. Like it just my memory gave me like a completely different perception of the pitch. And then I had to say to Colin yesterday, by the way, I feel like I've been feeding you a lot of shite because that is perfectly visible. I'm going to get pulled up for that in the podcast in future. So no, sorry, I didn't observe any particular communication between Salinger and Hanley yesterday. I think probably because possibly because Hibs, my focus on Hibs was probably further up the other end of the pitch. Like there wasn't much going on around Hibs goalmouth yesterday. There was one amusing moment yesterday though, or I found it amusing anyway, where I think there's a ball over the top for Livi and Hanley's going after it. But he's a 65 cap Scotland Hall of Famer now. I don't know if he was ever known for his pace.
It was.
But I think maybe the pace is starting to get away from him. But Salinger was there. He just came along and mopped up as if to say, Hanley, no, like it's fine, pal. Like just slow down, save yourself for the upcoming games.
Hanley is a good cat. You say like a calm and influence, Colin, but he definitely organises well. And again, it was a thread on .net calling him out as well, just as like sort of the positive impact that he's made.
Yeah.
It's interesting because Rocky and Smith were both definitely Rocky like a fan's favourite last season, but a huge part in the success last season. That's them both find themselves out the team now. Colin, do you think they've got they're just going to have to bide the time now? Is it a case of that's it, you've lost your place and it's on the others to lose their jersey now?
They've got to just keep plugging away. Aye, that's their place. And fortunately for a defender or a goalie, it's harder, isn't it? Because you tend not to make. I know there's a bit of modern sort of coaching thing down south, certainly where the sub centre halves and all that. But traditionally, it's your midfielders and strikers, isn't it? That are the substitutions. Your subs. If you're a sub defender or goalie, you're on the bench. You're not getting on unless somebody gets sent off or are injured. So they just have to wait until one of them just gets suspended, or maybe Smith will get back in for a cup game and press. But even then, you didn't just change the goalie because the sub goalies came in and played one good game either, do you? So, yeah, I think they might find themselves there for a wee while because it's not like Hanley picks up loads of bookings either, does he?
Nah. What be that? So Salinger was the cup goalie, John. What do you do when the cup goalie becomes the main goalie? Does he also remain the cup goalie, or does that now become Smith's chance to shine?
I think that's a really good question because when the Scottish Cup draw comes round and whoever it is that we're playing, you would imagine that if you want to have a proper crack at that competition, you're going to have the guy that's got the most amount of time between the sticks. And I think at this moment in time, Salinger might be about the same as Smith, at least this season, like putting last season behind us. So it might depend on who we're playing.
I was
It
just going
might
to say,
depend on
okay, it'll depend on opposition.
aye, and I didn't mean to say like how seriously we're taking it, but that because we're out of the League Cup, we're going to want to go as far as we can in the Scottish Cup.
If we draw Clydebank like we did last year, Smith might get a chance if we're away to Rangers. It'll be the first. I'm saying Smith, whoever the first choice goalie is at that time, probably.
Yeah. Joe Capaldi said Klidje has started 3 games and has scored in each one. Sorry, Rocky, but it was Klidje's goal against St Mirren. Ronnie said, evening bangers, great result and a really good performance. This is something that we talked about in the previous show about the importance of having not just the win but the performance behind it. Colin, that it ticked both boxes yesterday, didn't it?
Aye, we spoke about that. That's what I'm saying. We're sitting spending all that time and the extra time, and then in the previous show talking about is it performance? Does result matter more? And it's like we want the result, but actually, I think yesterday in spells we were really good. I think Livingston made it quite easy for us. There was a few times where I said to John, I was like, we just like it looks good, right? We're knocking the ball about, but the Livi boys were just getting the ball passed round them. Like it was like if you're a Livi fan, you'd be going, fucking hell, stick a leg in, somebody go and boot somebody or do something because, or maybe we were just that fast and sharp that it made them look like bystanders. But we definitely played some good stuff, like in the first half and the second half. Only 1-0 in the first half. It felt like it should have been more, and it could have been what 6-7 yesterday. Nobody could have really complained. I don't think.
John, was there any concern when we went in 1-0 up at half time after the not just the number of chances but the quality of chances that we passed up in the first half?
Well, for me, I was all right. Colin was starting to get a wee bit antsy. We had a laugh. We had a laugh later on in the game because I think when it was 4, Colin says, "It could have been more." I'm like, it was 4. Like I was thinking back to one of the previous. It was an extra time, I think, where at the end I was saying something about like football fans are particularly like never content, and we've scored 4 goals, and Colin's going, "But it could have been 6 or 7." I think what I was also thinking about at the end of the first half is that thing that seems to have hampered us a wee bit this season, where it was like late goals at the end of the first half. There wasn't any sign of that yesterday, though, and I think possibly because of the sort of phenomena where if we didn't get a second goal, like say early in the second half, for example, like would the pressure have started to crank up? Would folk have started to get a bit nervous? Would Livi have started to come into the game a little bit more? But as it happened, we had a good bit of play. We get the penalty, we scored a goal, and that I think that I don't know what you say, like take the brakes off a wee bit, but it certainly relaxed everyone a wee bit more. I think I got you mentioned the atmosphere earlier, but I think everyone just sort of like settled in, like folded their arms, almost like they're in their armchairs in the stadium.
Aye, I think we were waiting for it to happen. I think it was that comfortable.
Felt like it was coming, Yeah.
Aye, and I think Livi got a shot on target the first half. Anyway, like it was in the second half before they troubled us. Really, they had one just after we scored, but the boy knocked it wide. And I think that was about as close as they came. I thought they started quite positively, though, Livi. David Gray mentioned that in his post-match interview. He said that Livi started quite well, and I'm sure Martindale said it as well. But Martindale also said that we didn't have to be very good to beat them. He said that he thought that they gifted us the goals. Klidje's goal, John, talk us through that because it was quite a special wee goal.
I've seen I actually have properly watched it back. I watched the Sky Sports highlights, which missed out Barlasser's pass into him. I'd seen a wee bit chat elsewhere that Barlasser could have played an easier pass to Cadden, but he chose to play the sort of the attack-minded pass. I don't think there was too many options available to him, but he has fed the ball into Klidje, and Klidje's I don't know quite how to describe this. He's not quite wriggled his way, but he's dropped the shoulder for one defender and he's out muscled, I think, Silla, and then he's just smashed it top corner. Or as I described it on Twitter, and I thought I was actually thinking about you, Matty, when I wrote this. It was he'd doing fuck all.
Aye.
And I like that goal. Like I think if you've ever played a bit of football yourself, like that near post, like high into the net finish is just really quite satisfying.
Aye, it's apparent if you're in goals and a goal like that goes in because there's nothing you can do about it. It just flies past you like fuck.
And he's doing the obvious. He'll go across me. So his feet are all planted to go that way, aren't
they? His touch was brilliant. He sort of moved towards the ball to draw one defender in, like to come at him, and then let it run past him almost and turned it round the corner. I thought it was
just the wee flick first touch was really nice. Like,
aye.
And then Silla tried to wipe him out, but he just was stronger than him. Silla was playing out of position by that point, I think, wasn't he? He had dropped back into the back 2 or 3, whatever it was they were playing. But then when the other guy went off injured.
Klidje should have had an assist after that as well. The wee pass that he had that found Naden. Naden's got to hit the target there, Colin.
Aye, he blazed that one over, didn't he? I thought
Aye.
that the pass was maybe a bit. It could have had a bit more pace on it actually, and it would have
You think?
helped Caden. But it was the right. It was good to play the pass because we've got other people on the team that would have been definitely hitting the shot there, and it was a good. It was the right thing to do. I just don't know if he could have maybe a wee bit more on it, and because the defender then got closer to Caden by the time the ball sort of trickled over and that. But aye, he should still be. It's on his good foot in that. He should be getting it on target.
Aye.
The Bowie one was did you what was the view like for you, the Bowie attempt?
With
On
the-
the
with
TV
the-
it looks further past
Aye.
further past the post than I thought at the time.
I thought he should have hit the target with it. Like, it's a
Aye.
difficult chance, but I think at that level, he's no miles out. He's got total control of the ball. His first touch was brilliant, just
Yeah.
taking to bring
On
it
the
down and
left.
set up the shot. I was disappointed he never hit the target. So
It looked,
it's on
because
his
we were
bad
that
foot
side.
apparently. So
Aye, well, because we were that side, I thought it was a lot closer. You would have the angle for that side. You would see how wide it was, but the first touch on the left and the second on the right, it was going for the spectacular. Because I thought at the time, I thought it. I never said it, but then when I watched it back, it confirmed it. I thought he could actually just like no hit it on the volley. It was like he was the volley, the touch, full flight,
but
then
it
smashed
sat
it
up
on the
nice
volley.
for him the way. Like
I know, but he had time. Like
aye,
if he's not getting on target, that's where you've got to say, well, maybe you should take the extra touch.
if it goes in, though, yeah, it's
If he goes in, it's one of the goals of the season. Aye.
Aye, that's
This sounds like an XG conversation David Gray needs to have with take the touch.
No.
That's
The
it.
stats
That's
say if we
basically,
take a touch.
basically what it is, isn't it?
Colin, the second goal came for a penalty. Well, I thought it was interesting. Martindale said he had no complaints about it, but he reckoned the boy could have got sent off for it because
All
he
right.
says there's
Did
no
Martindale
attempt to
say
play.
that, did he?
He says there's no attempt to play the ball. He says maybe a bit lucky not get a red card.
Oh,
I had the
he booked him,
conversation.
didn't he?
I had the conversation with Josh. I was like, he could get a red for that because he's not tried for the ball. I think there was a defender covering him. When I watched it back, there's
Aye,
probably
but
somebody that could have blocked the shot potentially.
that's the confusion on the rule, isn't it? Because it's not last man; it's
Aye.
a goal scoring opportunity, and I assume Klidje was going to get a shot away.
Would have thought so, eh?
Well, it was definitely a penalty. Like, I mean,
aye.
the ref seemed to take ages to give it. Like, because we were going, fucking get it. Say they must have said it 3 times and waiting on him because you kind of came with the body language. He's got to give this.
Aye.
Just
I
fucking
don't
hurry up,
know.
point the finger.
I don't understand like the whole like the foul happens and it seems like there are like what 2 maybe 3 seconds, which I appreciate isn't a hell of a lot of time, but it's a long time for the referee to
You know
make
what?
the decision to point to the
I
spot
think he's
to
maybe
blow the
asking the
whistle and point to
linesman
the
if he's
spot.
seen it
I
as well.
agree. Yeah, I was just going to say that. I think he's decided because you can tell with the body language he's thinking, I'm giving this, but they're probably in their referee meetings. Take your time, make sure, and the linesman that whatever one it was on the side would be going, aye, definitely pulled them. So he's listening, and because then if there was a debate, they would probably go, well, I'm not going to give it. Then we'll let VAR decide.
Aye, or I'll give it and let VR decide either way.
Aye, yeah, but that's the so that one there was, but it looked Stonewall, and for the other end of the ground, I mean, I've seen it back in the telly. Like nobody can complain about that.
Nah.
See, I forget the name of the show. We've talked about it before about like penalties and
EastEnders.
VR review and Billy Collum
Aye,
coming out
before.
and trying to defend the indefensible. But do you think there would be any value in like the referees, linesmen coming out and talking about that incident in particular and going, aye, the reason for that short delay is to allow the
Fucking
communication
interested, mate.
between. I am.
Fucking interested. I know, but see that they come out and they try and do the VR program, and folk just fucking rubbish it, and you go, well, they're telling you, you're actually getting to hear what they were doing at the time, and folk
Aye.
will just go disagree or have not watched it, but surely they never. Like, because I've got this still photo here, and you're like, well, watch it because they've said the opposite. But aye, there is folk that are interested. Like, I'll tend to watch some of the stuff on the VR show. He watches the whole thing, because I think it helps you understand why. Like, we were talking today about that one in the Celtic game, weren't we? Where the referee gave the penalty to try and let Celtic back in the game, but it's clear he smashed them in the face. But he got sent to the monitor, and we're like, well, is that the rule then? Because like they've done the factual overturn when they've not given it, and then the TVs went definitely hit his hand. You didn't need to go and watch it; it's definitely hit his hand. And I go, well, why did they go to the monitor the day? Because surely they can just say, well, it definitely never hit his hand. Like, it's not gone as his arms are unnatural. It never hit it, so it doesn't matter.
I
So I
think
don't understand why they sent him.
I think it's because it's Celtic and because it was on the telly and it was on Sky. Well, I can't remember.
So it was for the television viewer.
So I'm trying to remember
Because it's Celtic.
whether I read it in the. So there's protocol about it on like IFAB. That's who do the rules, and they've got VAR protocol, and I think it's in there. I might be mistaken here, and it might be that it's come up on the VAR review show with Willie Collum, but they actually say like this is when you would send the referee to the monitor, and they say there may be times where you want to send the referee to the monitor anyway to sell the decision, so that like for the folk watching, so that they know it's been a VAR review, the referee's checked it, and it's no the original decision. So you're going to overturn it, and they have a bit more faith that it's the right decision that's been made. So I don't know if it's just because it's been on the telly, because it's Celtic, it's going to be high profile because Celtic got beat, that they go have a look at it at yourself, so you know, like everybody's comfortable that we've got the right decision here, because it wasn't a fucking penalty, like it hit the boy right in the coupon. So, but I think that's why they did it.
That they're having to try and sell it to the crowd. Like, it's like everybody knows. Like, well, not everybody at the game would know, but when they see it later, they know that it's no. Like, they can't. They're not. Nobody's got to argue about it. It was so clear. Anyway, we're talking about a different game here. It's just that the point about talking about like understanding how their decision-making process is, because they make it hard. Like, that's a contradiction, a straight contradiction on one of your decisions this season.
That's it, because Boyle's goal got disallowed at Ibrox without the referee having to go to the monitor. And that was an overturn, factual overturn. They just went, hit his hand. So.
And it's quicker, it's easier. That should have been quick today.
Aye.
And that's the one complaint folk have about VAR, and you go, well, they're right there, because that took far too long. Just tell him to hit his face.
J-Star 1964 said, should we stick with the same team after that win for Aberdeen, as we need to be consistent? John?
Sorry, say that again. I heard a bit about Aberdeen. I realised.
Should we stick with the same team?
Aye. Yeah, I don't think there was anything that happened yesterday that, like, the starting lineup performed well. The subs largely perform well. I don't think there's any reason to change it. The only caveat to that would be McGrath going off injured and whether he's going to be fit to play. I think if he is, I don't know, I'm maybe contradicting things I've said before, but I wonder what sort of disruption he might. What sort of disruptive influence he might play in the game, because Aberdeen, I think, might give him a few boos because he left them for us, signed his pre-contract, etc. while he was injured. So I wonder if that might distract him a wee bit. And he's not a bad player either, so
might motivate him. Hopefully. The third goal comes for the head of Junior Hoilett. It's unusual for him to get a headed goal calling out, but he did it. Good play for Chris Cadden down the right as well.
It was good cross. Yeah, good cross. Nice wee glancing header. Be out of region again if you're Livi, though, eh? Like, I know Martindale was moaning about the first two goals that they gifted, but that was more of a gift, when you've got a big guy like that on Hoilett, and Hoilett wins a header. But it was a nice finish. Good cross.
And he got the fourth as well to wrap up, which is another good finish. And actually, it was similar to the City missed against St Mirren, I think, where he rattled the bar, but this time he put it away with aplomb.
I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because I remember trying to defend Hoilett with his chance that came off the bar against St Mirren, and I think I could see what he was trying to do there, where he was trying. I think the referee. I think he was second guessing the goalkeeper where he was going to dive, so he's gone high and he's just got it a wee bit wrong. And yesterday he's let it come across his body and he stabbed it with the left foot, and he's done exactly the same. It's fine margins. It went in this time. He's beat the keeper.
Just better executed. Colin, he needed a couple of goals. He's had a bit of flack this season, and probably justifiably so, because he's not been great. But
yeah, and it was good for him getting a couple of goals, and also Cadden getting a couple of assists from it as well, because he's another one that's been on the hit list. So I was pleased for both of them there. I'm trying to think who else. Like, Barlaser had a good game. He's another one that the knives have been at a wee bit first. So I was pleased for all of them. I actually thought that the whole team, there was nobody really you could say wasn't great. I thought maybe, like, noticed, not that he wasn't good, but Nicky Cadden was probably the one that didn't do as much in the team as the others. That didn't contribute as much. I didn't think. Defence were solid. Goalie was good. Cadden got a couple of assists. Midfield was good. Strikers were good. I think if you're looking down the list and ordering them 1 to 11 and performance wise, I would have him down near the bottom. But that's not to say he shouldn't keep his place next week.
I thought he was like a 7, 8 out of 10. Do you know? Or well, not an 8 out of 10. That's a 7 out of 10. So what's that? A 10 out of 15.
I don't think he played poorly. I think
Nah,
I know. I'm just saying in a rank. That's what I mean. They all played well.
No.
But in
Colin's
ranking,
sticking the boot in. I'm here, Ken.
sticking the boot in.
No, not at all. I was just
got to find a blue boy.
I was just trying to add a bit of additional context. Like I've talked about games in the past, like albeit it's Livingston, and you know they're kind of seen as the team that everyone should beat in the league. Their right back kept Nicky Cadden quiet. Like you're still going up against someone that, like, he's not got any God-given right to be able to get the cross in. He did beat the guy once. I think he's got a couple other crosses, but otherwise the right back kept him quiet.
I quite like the battles on both flanks. Like I thought Nicky Cadden on that side and Chris Cadden on our right hand side. They both had a good battle against their opposite number.
And do you know what though, right? There was a bit more of a mix. It wasn't just get the ball out wide and get crosses in, or just play through the middle. We were doing both yesterday. So as you said, Mulligan already was getting on the ball and driving it. Barlaser was picking. He kept it moving nicely, but he also got a few forward passes on the goal. So wasn't he just like one-dimensional, sort of doing the wings and get a cross in? We were doing different things.
On Mulligan, so Ronnie said Mulligan needs to stay in the middle. Joe said agree with Mulligan, best in the middle. Green Tea said thought Mulligan was excellent yesterday, man of the match. Steve Skinner said slow start this season, but let's get the Jambles in our crosshairs because I genuinely believe we have a better team than that lot. I said hopefully Hoilett just needed a few weeks rest. Gilkey Hibs said, think it'll be Bowie and Klidje or Boyle for the Aberdeen game. Gray likes the option that Bowie gives of holding the ball up. What do you think? Bowie has come in for a bit of criticism, almost like he's sort of simmering under the surface over the last few weeks. He's maybe needing a goal, but what do you think his performance overall yesterday, John?
I'm sure I described his performance as being a bit brighter than it had been in previous weeks when I was leaving the game. Like, broadly speaking, I thought that he was like he still wasn't really getting much change out of the referee in terms of drawn fouls or whatever. But otherwise, I thought his involvement in the game was pretty good. He had I think obviously you were saying that you think that he should have hit the target with that chance in the first half. I am given some optimism by the fact that he did get the first touch and he does get the shot away. Like that's something that says to me that his performances in recent weeks, that's not impacted his confidence. Like he still wants to take that sort of stuff on. So hopefully we get more of the same against Aberdeen. And it did seem that I appreciate what people were saying about Mulligan in the middle, and I don't disagree, but I think perhaps the biggest difference yesterday was the balance that it gave the team across the pitch and the different partnerships. So Mulligan, Barlaser in the middle, Bowie, Klidje up front. Like if you were to play a similar, like say Boyle was to come in against Aberdeen, you might find that Boyle has a better performance because of that switch that goes on, or sorry, the switch that's taking place behind them.
I agree with that. Colin, you happy with Bowie's performance?
Yeah, I thought he was fine. I never got a goal. We could do with a goal, but it'll come. Like it's just snatching that one a wee bit yesterday, and he'll get another goal. He's obviously not going to be on penalties while McGrath's in the team, though.
No, and McGrath took his penalty nicely, nice and calm, and
put the keeper the wrong way,
right in the corner.
Gave him the eyes.
Aye.
Did you see the possession stats here? I was just looking at the BBC stats here as you were talking. Like we actually had less possession than Livi.
Aye. It's funny you say that.
53.
Funny you say that, Colin, because we were talking about the number of passes, because it felt like Hibs were just knocking the ball about. Like it felt like Hibs were constantly moving the ball. So I set myself a wee task and go and find out how many passes Hibs had made yesterday with the intention of going and comparing it with previous games where that seemed to be a bit of a criticism. And Livy had more passes than us.
I know, I was just looking at that. I know, just when you say it, 50 or 52 more passes than us in the game. But then mind I pointed out at the time, John, mind that they had the keeper, the centre back putting the body for the goal kick and the goalie standing ready to take the pass off him. And I says, what the fuck are they doing?
Stat pad,
that's exactly what it is. What about there's 6 subs? Martin Dale talked about one of the boys going off with concussion, and I was like, I can't mind anybody going down with a head knock or that. The first boy that went off early.
Off with that? Is it not him?
A leg knock.
Oh, right, because he went down at a corner or something, and I thought he'd maybe...
Watch it in the highlights. It's in the definitely in the Hibs highlights on YouTube. He sort of clashes with Hanley, but pulling that, he goes down and he's hurting his leg.
Aye.
And then he went off minutes later. And then
They wouldn't say somebody's concussed if not, because football's like you're about 17 days or something.
Is there a minimum on it?
Aye, it is in youth football as well. It's like quite a lengthy time if you actually say they've had a concussion. So that's why they'll pretend they've not had concussions normally.
Aye.
Because it's a long time. Mine Hanlon was out a couple of seasons ago for ages.
Mm-hmm. And what's his goalie as well?
Bogdan.
Aye, Bogdan with a long absence of concussion. I just found it interesting. There was like they put a 6 sub on, but I couldn't mind anybody going off by a head knock. So
did they not have a couple of subs in the first half though?
One first half, which was the boy with the sore leg. 3 at half time.
Oh right.
And then they brought 2. Did a double substitution with the boy that was injured on our left hand side. But again, that didn't look like a head knock that he'd gone off with. And then they took 2 off there, and we're like, that's fucking 6 subs. Martindale mentioned it was Green Tea said there was a head knock with a Livi player in O'Hora. I actually remember that now. Now that she mentions it, the ball came across the box and the 2 of them went for the header. Thanks, Green Tea. That's cleared up. So that must have been the boy that went off. And fair enough, he did look like he took a bit of Syrian.
He obviously wasn't happy with their defence though, because it's taken off by half time. No, 66 minutes. He subbed 3 of their starting back 4.
Aye. He was raging. Martindale all the way through the game was raging. I was watching him and he was a proper angry wee man.
I read somewhere that he'd cancelled a day off. He had them in for training today.
He did.
Aye. He was jumping about and going daft at one point, and I thought it's not working, eh? Like, why are you doing that? Like, you know,
just needs to pay me this.
I know.
Right, stay tuned. Right, stay tuned because we've got the Twitter comments to come. But just before we get to that, we've got a question for Chris Black. Did the defender head the ball off Hoilett? I was convinced it was an OG, and Green Tea said, as did I. So was it a defensive mistake, or just was a straight header for Hoilett? I didn't pay enough attention. I thought Hoilett headed it in, but was it off the defender first?
I've not looked at it closely in the replay, and like what I saw in the replay was a cross goes in, and I think Hoilett jumps for it more out of hope than I don't know, like no, I don't know what to say. Desire. He tries to get something on it, but he's not known for his heading prowess. So it just sort of like glances off like the back of his head and goes towards the net. But maybe Silla gets something on it and it comes off Hoilett.
It ended up in anyway, didn't it?
The defender's not going to be claiming it. Put it that way, is he? So
no.
And if it hits Hoilett and goes towards goals, they normally give that goal anyway. And it's just a deflection.
Gilky Hibs said, was it just me or were we playing less along the back line than we have been recently? I thought we were less along the back line, a bit more direct. We played with a wee bit more purpose, I thought, yesterday. Like it was get the ball and try to go forward. It's very rare that we did that time where we got to their box and just turned around and fucking ended up back at our keeper.
Yeah. And they knocked it, the defence were maybe knocking it into Barlaser in the middle, and he was doing that, that sideways pass out to Cadden or the fullbacks or the midfield. So maybe it was more direct than that. We weren't fucking about between the 3 of them.
I don't remember Iredale getting forward too much yesterday, but Colin and I mentioned at the game that O'Hora seemed to be contributing towards the attack. And we pointed out Barlaser as well in terms of just kind of keeping the ball moving and always being available for a pass. So I wonder if we just were able to get more bodies forward that allowed us, that allowed us to play more attack-minded passes and less along the back line.
Fair enough.
There was a couple of O'Hora runs like Miller last season. He go forward 2 or 3 times, like bombing on, which was good to see. But I was saying, I wonder if that was down to the change of formation. There's more space for them to drive into, whereas when you've got that 2 and 2, there's less open wide gap, I guess.
Aye, we've been working on it more than training.
Yeah.
Right, before we go to the Twitter comments, it's about this time of night on a Sunday evening. I like to hear from Professor Football, get his words of wisdom. So, Professor Football, what have you got for us this week?
Well, I was thinking along the lines because of the 25th anniversary of the 6-2 game. I thought I would bring a wee throwback for that era. So, I would just say to you boys, if you carry the piano and I'll play it.
Brilliant. Okay. Right, on Twitter, this is a stoker. This got quite a reaction for the Twitter comments. Famous Edinburgh Hibs, who I'm sure at some point has contacted us to say tried to buy the club at one point, right? So there's some context for this. He said a few years ago that there needs to be a big clear out at Hibs, and it's still the case. I'd probably only keep 9 of the current squad. It's obvious there's a negativity at the club, and that's also going to eventually affect new signings until it's dealt with. The Livingston game was a much needed 3 points and was a decent performance, but it was against a bad team and a bad league. Every team in the league is regressing except Hearts, who now have the best in the business, Tony Bloom, at the club. John, how would you respond to that? Is there an obvious negativity at the club?
No.
Colin, do you see it?
So, just on the point about like the big clear out, like we've had, I don't have the figures to hand, but like how many transactions? Like I think Malky Mackay talked about, or I don't know if transactions was the word, but like the number of bodies that have come in and out.
I can't remember if it was an extra time we done it. We counted it up. The amount of outs was like, was it 16 or 20? I can't. It was like way up in the high teens, if not in the 20s. Outs since last season, over last season. So I think that is a mass clear. I don't know if the boys like. I don't know. I don't know if he's in a time warp or something, like, or if that's been like delayed. Like he was trying to send that last year, because it feels like a message for last season.
Aye, it doesn't seem to be. I think why would he do that after a 4-0 win? Like I just.
So
mental.
Like we've had a couple. Oh, sorry, I was going to say we've had a couple challenging results. We've not had a couple challenging results. We've had one defeat. We've not won as many games as we would have liked. However, compared to where we were last season, compared to where we were like 2, 3, 4 years ago, like we are not anywhere like in a position of needing that mass clear out or people feeling detached or whatever it happened to be. Like
look at our bench yesterday. Like Sports Scene mentioned it as well. They were like, look at the Hibs bench. They've got a good squad. They've got strength and depth. Like that's what they're saying. We're not going. This time last year, we were looking at the bench going, fucking hell, when they bring any of them on.
Gray mentioned in his post-match stuff about the quality. He says even the players that can't make the squad now. He says give me a really good selection headache. But the other thing he talked about, just to kind of go back on that negativity point, is Gray talked. He was talking about Junior Hoilett. And that sort of positive influence that he's had. He's like David Gray likes to use the phrase every single day. He says it a lot.
Does he?
Aye, watch out for it. And once you notice it, you'll hear it every single interview.
Does he say it every single day? Every single day.
Right. I love David Gray. I love his interviews, so it's no a complaint. Just keep saying it, David. But he mentioned about Junior Hoilett's standards every single day. But then he talked about the new players coming into the group that was really close knit last season, and says they've all embraced it and they're all part of that now as well. So it's like the opposite. Obvious negativity. I didn't get that comment at all.
And I've told you
their opinion, and I'm not saying anybody's wrong, but I didn't see it.
I mean, there's meant to be a good feeling down at HTC and all that, and I've told you, like, my daughter's down there, well, every week, and if there's first team players there, they say hello to them, ask them who they are and all that. And Joe Newell leads that, but Beta and that have done it. 2 or 3 of them have all went and said hello to the lassies and stuff, just like a welcoming, we're all one club sort of thing. So there's definitely that culture being built down there.
J-Star said, crazy comment. This is the best squad we've had for years. Gilkey said, agree. Chris says, don't get that view at all. Gilkey says, best squad in a long time. J-Star says, just sounds like someone's attention seeking. Chris said, our squad's unreal. Sandy said, best squad in Edinburgh, if not Scotland. Kieran said, it's a jambo at the wind up. Surely.
He's not though, is he? Because the boys, I know who you mean. Because he's been quiet for a while. But he was sort of actively saying he was wanting to buy the club in that, wasn't he? And in between fucking going to every top sporting event in the world, like for memory. That's him, isn't it? Aye. So
okay.
Anyways, see the negativity. Sorry, John.
I was going to say, like, if he wants to invite us to one of these sporting events, we could discuss the negativity. I'm up for that.
Make it a good gin, though. The negativity that's around, though, if there is any, it's because we've not won as many games as we should have. We lost a few last minute goals as well. But we're right. So we're like to answer. So somebody on Hibs.net said last week we want to be challenging for third, and somebody says we're 2 points off third, right?
Aye.
we're fucking third now, right? That's what we're challenging for. We are third. The negativity is because Hearts are above us. Simple as that. A lot of folk can't see past where Hearts are, or they can't be doing with all the, they can't cope with the mind the gap stuff that they come out with. That we come out with when we're above them as well. But like they don't like being on the receiving end of it, and they can't cope with it. And that's where the negativity comes from.
George Clark said the quality continued with Chaiwa, a showcase of talented midfield players. Play them all and dominate games. No need to find a front two. Evidence is that the front pairings are not gelling. Use your strength instead. So that's an interesting one. Is there an argument to be made, Colin, for playing one up top and putting an extra midfielder in when we've got the sort of what's the phrase, an embarrassment of riches that we have in midfield? Would you rather have an extra midfielder on at the expense of a forward?
So would that not be like a 3-6-1?
That's what I was thinking.
Or are we changing the whole
4-5-1 maybe?
maybe changing the whole formation, but the three works. So
that's going to stifle a horror getting forward.
So actually, right, got two comments here that kind of tie in, right? So one for Kevin Maddox has just come through on YouTube. So too many spectators and not enough supporters. Happy to let 50 kids make the atmosphere. So kind of that ties in with what I was saying about feeling a wee bit flat yesterday. Scott Miller said 18,000 at home versus Livingston. That has to be a record home attendance versus them, and yet again demonstrates the size of the club. So that's sort of yin and yang. There's a lot of folk there, maybe no as noisy as it could have been, but it was a Hibs kids game yesterday. One of the things we talked about on the phone in was the importance of putting on a show in a game like that, because that's the sort of game cause that will get folk coming back.
Aye. Yeah, that's the ones there, especially the wee ones when they win a game like that. I remember when my kids were younger. Sorry, it's a Doug coming back. Can you hear that?
Aye.
And they go and do something else.
No, sorry, I can't hear it. All the kids.
All right, okay.
You carry on.
Aye, the when you win like that, the wee ones want to go back as well. So that builds the next generation, doesn't it? But it should keep folk coming back.
Aye. And John, we are sitting on a sort of almost like there's a big latent support at Hibs, and we're starting to see more of them coming back more frequently now. This is obviously a good thing for the club. How do we get that? Because is it just a case of keep winning games 4-0?
Pretty much. I think like when Colin's saying about like having folk coming back, because like some of the earliest memories Hibs being Livingston 4-0, then you do have that sort of positive connection. Nobody wants to come back because you drew 0-0 against Livi or Ross County or whoever it happens to be. Like I think about a couple of my first games. I think the two games that I went to, it was like Hibs beating Brecon 2-1, Hibs beating St Johnstone 1-0. I don't know what my Hibs support. I don't know whether it would be on a podcast now if Hibs had lost those games.
Aye.
A lot, and actually, I like when I started going along to the games myself under my own steam, like paying for it myself. It was when we had that long unbeaten run in the 98-99 season in the championships. That definitely helped cement it. So it's pretty important.
Okay, moving on. Axel F said should have been at least 6 goals today. Some of our attacking play was a joy to watch. 100% better than the draws we've had prior to this match. Let's hope this positive style continues. Colin, we never really kind of focused that much on formations here, but how much of that was a sort of down to the switch back to the system that was working for us last season?
It's easy to say that. It did look like it, but Livi helped as well. By being a bit passive, I think. But I mean, it was more familiar, wasn't it? And it seemed to allow O'Hara to get forward. It seemed to allow Bowie to be further up, not just getting dragged into the battles we've been speaking about. Klidje was sweeping up all the mistakes Livi defenders kept making. And McGrath was, well, forward and back, wasn't he? But the midfield was just much more functioning unit yesterday, the three of them.
It seemed much more instinctive, and I wonder if what Matty described earlier about the players becoming part of that already existing close-knit group, I wonder if that also factors into how they play. Like, because I would imagine, like, the play, like, I think I mentioned that previously about having optimism about the team having had that 2 weeks opportunity with international breaks to get into like the training room, the analysts, etc., all sit together and have a conversation. And I wonder if the players and the management have said, look, it's not quite working, we'll change it.
Yeah, agree. William Graham said subs had a big impact, albeit the game was probably done by then. Robert Mowat, who's a Hearts fan, who said Hearts might be doing well just now, but too many Hearts fans are forgetting that we robbed charities a while back. So thanks for that, Robert. Curvy Nisbet, we've covered your talking point already. Mark Skinner says we need to talk about Klidje for the full hour, but we did a fair bit of that. Gillian said, my 2.5-year-old great nephew loved it, and coming back for the next Hibs kids game, thought Klidje was a player and a great goal. Honest, he said that. And Christopher Black, hello Chris, said, can Livi official ask wee Davy if we're allowed to be negative about his side as they are mints? And Pat Fry's image says the difference in budgets showed. Alan Klein said Daniel Barlasser was man of the match for me. He looks like a really good signing, and Stephen says it could have been 10. Graham Whiteman said that's the difference when you make attacking substitutions. On the substitutes, it wasn't a universally popular substitution. The double sub when Klidje and Bowie went off for Boyle and Hoilett. And not just like, I mean, we saw like a few comments online, but there was definitely chat around about us in the stand as well. Folk didn't really kind of understand the sub. I thought it was the wrong ones to bring on, but in the end, they both played their part in the win. Hoilett's particularly getting the 2 goals. There's sometimes a case of just letting the manager get on with it.
Aye, we never mentioned anything. Nobody around us said anything, Johnny. Like there was nobody questioning anything.
There was a few grumbles up in when we sit in the west.
It was 2-0 at the time. Everybody felt quite comfortable, I think. Thought,
do you think that reflects the personalities and the respective stands? The guys in the east are a wee bit more, maybe let the manager do the job. The west have just got to find something to moan about.
Green Tea said, I sit in the West low and it's so frustrating that everyone is very quiet unless something goes wrong. And that happens a lot with football. I think that's a unique to Hibs thing, though. You know, like somebody will make a mistake. It's very animated. Or what we saw on Saturday was somebody will do something a bit out of the blue, like Mulligan came running out of nowhere to catch up, like to intercept the ball. And Klidje did the same thing as well, where he covered a load of ground and just nipped in, took it off, and everybody kind of was like, yes, he gets on their feet. That's the sort of thing that drives the atmosphere. I think is like sometimes you have the players kind of pushing the crowd on, and other times you need the crowd pushing the players on. But when you have both of them at it, then it does lift the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Right, we're almost out of time. Have you got your Christmas presents sorted out yet?
No, I sorted my nephews out the day though.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, I'll not ask you what you got in case he's listening.
I'm getting my Longbangers t-shirt.
Are you off of the redbubble.com?
That's what I was thinking.
Aye, good. I was just about to promote it. As we're coming up to that time of the year, redbubble.com, search Longbangers, you'll see all the designs. And what happens when you go on the landing page there, you'll see the designs, but not necessarily what they're on. So you click on one, you'll see they've got t-shirts, bags, mouse mats, phone cases, clocks, wee pin badges, all very good quality, very reasonably priced as well. So check it out. If you start ordering now, you'll get it in plenty of time for Christmas. We've got extra time. Yeah.
See, before you say it, we were sitting yesterday. The boy went skittling down the stairs, and I don't know, like I just wanted to say, like, I hope he's all right, because it was quite. It wasn't very nice to watch. I don't know what happened, but he must have came for a fair height. I can't remember what row we were in, John. You told me before it, but N or something, P. Don't know, whatever. And this boy must have came for, I reckon, the speed he was going past us. It must have been AA or something. And I know there's a thread in Hibs.net asking what happened, because he can't remember. But what happened was he came he'd first down the stairs at about 100 mile an hour, and he got up and apparently walked out. So that's as much as I can be for a witness statement. But I hope you're all right.
I hope he's all right. Yeah, best wishes to him. Okay, we'll be back tomorrow with extra time for subscribers, and don't forget you can subscribe by hitting the wee join button. If you're watching us on YouTube, you'll see it just underneath the title of the the episode. If you don't want to do it on YouTube and you're listening to a podcast, you can go to Patreon and you can sign up there. It's only a couple of quid a month. It's good value, we're told, for it. And there's some extra wee perks as well. So do that, and you can gift a subscription to somebody if you want to do that. Again, we talked about Christmas. You're able to gift somebody a subscription, or you can pay for the full year up front. Anyway, Sandy said hit the thumbs up, so give it a like, folks. Thanks, Matty John and Professor Football. Really good comments on the chat. Yep, chat on YouTube has been first class tonight. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you all